Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 16 in our Let's Play series of Industry Manager Future Technologies. If you remember where we left off in our previous episode, we were running through the research for production line costs in the various resource buildings. And as you can see, we have reached the last resource building and have uh, gotten our maximum reduction in cost. This one it shows 40%. And as you can see here, that's going to be the case for each of these. Now, the way you actually get that cost reduction is you need to do an upgrade in the various factories. Now, this is an electronics factory. You can see here, production line costs $200,000, and we can do an upgrade. Well, let's take a quick moment to look at what our costs are right now. Our total costs $11.56 each. If we come back in, let's do our upgrade. $11.56 down to $9.33. So you can see your cost savings there. We're going to take a moment and do a few of these, but we're not going to do all of them because we've got other things that we want to take care of in this video, but we're going to take care of the electronics factories right quick. Now that I've shown you an example of how you can tell that your costs have gone down, but not only do you need to do the research, but you also need to come in and purchase the upgrade in the various factories. Okay, if we come in and production line costs here at the farm, okay, $296 is our current cost. We purchase the upgrade, and we're down to $252. Again, not all of these individual factories will have a huge number drop, but it is the percentage drop that we're looking for. And remember, all of this is going directly into increased profits for us. Okay, let's take a moment and do a few more of these. Let's see, not necessarily the mines maybe, but let's see, what else is out there? Textiles, we've got a couple of textile factories here, 3 of them. $11.40 becomes $9.53. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a few of these. It's kind of like eating potato chips, I think. Once you get started doing these upgrades, I don't think you can stop. Okay, chemical factories, I know we have, as you can see, we have 7 of these. Let's go ahead and take care of these as well. And thankfully, we can just flip through without having to go to each one on the map and simply purchase the upgrade. Now, obviously, you can tell this is not something you want to do if you're short on cash. But at this particular moment in time, we have no cash flow problems, so we're not going to worry too much about that. All right, is you see there's some weird stuff going on down here. Another thing, if you remember from our previous episode that was going on, is we were having some issues with production of lithium-ion batteries. So if we come down here and take a look at our electronics factory where we're making these batteries, we take a look at what we're missing, and oh, this big red block here shows us a 0. We're not getting any aluminum, so that's halting our production there. Now the good thing is we're producing way more lithium-ion batteries on a normal basis before we ran out, of course, than we need. We only need about 50, I believe, because it's in the, I think it's actually in cell phones. Let's see, mobile phones, is that what it's in? Yeah, there they are. So we need about 50 of these to make our mobile phones, but that's it. As far as I can remember, that is the only place where we're going to need that. But for the purposes of, making sure everything is as smooth as possible as we go forward, let's go ahead and fix this issue. All right, so we need to figure out why we have no aluminum, and the answer is pretty simply because aluminum we're trying to get from number 2 warehouse, and it's actually in number 3. Now, because of my lack of attention to detail in where I put things in which warehouses, I've caused myself some issues there. Unfortunately, I'm too deep in to go back and restructure everything now, but just understand that hopefully you guys at home are doing a much better job than I am of my warehouses, and I'm going to try my best to do a better job going forward in the videos. But once we go to warehouse 3 instead of warehouse 2, that should help us out quite a bit. And to see if that is indeed the case, let's come back into our resources, and we can see there are plenty in that warehouse. So production is back underway. And if we go ahead and let things progress, we should start to see that our mobile phones will have more of these going forward. All right, but just to make sure, let's go ahead and see where are they trying to get these from 2, which I believe is actually correct. Now, we have a problem with that as well. Again, back to my wonderfully horrible planning. Now, you can see we've got an increase here in our storage area. Unfortunately, that's not really going to help us because we're sending so many things in here that are already maxed out that we've maxed out our storage. As you can see here, we've got 10% here. We've already maxed out there. What I'm going to simply do is I'm going to lower a few of these. We already have tons and tons of these, and we're overproducing tremendously on most of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and lower these to 5. And you might say, why on earth would you lower these when you've already well over that cap of 10% now that you're lowering to 5? Well, the reason is because I should have done this to begin with, really, if I was going to try to keep more than about 10 items in a particular warehouse that were going to be stored for any length of time. But because I didn't, what I'm going to try to do is purchase this storage increase and keep some of these products that we already have so much of from now getting back into production and filling up the increased storage capacity. Because right now we can't get any more batteries into here because everything is full. So we're bursting at the seams right now in this storage. So let's go ahead and see if I've done a good enough job for this. All right, so it looks like max is 10 there, and we're already at 4%, so this will help us out. And we're going to change finally this and max here. All right, you can see that now we're at warehouse number 2. We've got aluminum coming in here. Why on earth do we have aluminum coming in here? Well, this is because of another mistake that I made earlier on. And if we come into our mines, doesn't matter which one we click on, you're going to find that as we click forward, we got coal, graphite, and if we click through and find, whoop, there's our first aluminum right there. Where are we sending it? We're sending it to 2. We need to change that to 3. And let's see if there's another one. I believe we had another one. There we go. And it's also going to 3 now. So we should have taken care of that problem. Again, this is me and my terrible planning coming back to haunt me. All right, so now that should take care of any more aluminum coming here. We'll get that transferred over to our new warehouse as soon as we can. But right now we got some storage issues over here that we want to deal with. Let's go ahead and increase that overall storage limit if it will allow us to. Oh, okay, it's already done it. So, all right, so right here we've got our storage upgraded as much as we can anyway. And now, so we've maxed out of everything, but it should allow over in number 2. Okay, storage increase is good there. It should allow our batteries to start flowing in, and sure enough, there they are. Now I'm going to go ahead and reduce this to 5% as well, because it will fill up very quickly since we're only using 50 of these each day. So we're going to have a huge amount trying to flow in. All right, so you can see we've already got a bunch flowing in. We're back up to 100%, but that's okay. We've at least put a Band-Aid over the problem for now. Now, with that out of the way, let's see. Okay, we're not going to worry about these little side projects. We've got other things to work on. Now, if we come back into our research, okay, as I mentioned, we're done with the production line increases, but let's go ahead and take this opportunity. We could go in and do the same thing with our product buildings, and you can see production line costs there, and we will. In fact, let's go ahead and queue up a couple of these. But my plan is, let's go ahead and while we have an opportunity, let's go ahead and research a new area. Okay, if we come in here, we've touched on vehicles, and we're going to get deeper into that a little bit more today. We started off in software. We've gone home electronics. We've done a little bit of that, a little bit of personal electronics. But now I think it's time. Let's go ahead and sample some of these others. Now, for those of you who might be following along and doing a similar playthrough to me, keep in mind, The best way to approach this, if you're looking at maximizing profit, would be to go through each one of these and offer as many, if not all, of each of these products in the different categories. The reason I'm not doing that is to try to touch on as many of these different areas as I can in the videos. Okay, I'm not worried about maximizing my profit. I'm trying to get profit doing reasonably well, but with me jumping around to different things, for instance, we got into making family cars and vans and so forth in the previous video, and we'll go a little bit deeper and make a couple of more of these in this video, but I'm not going to go through this entire thing. Now, the reason why you would want to is because what you will find is as you get farther down in here, you're going to use a lot of the same materials and products over and over again. And that's simply good efficiency for you. Once you get your production of these various raw materials and secondary components out of the way, then you want to use them to their maximum capabilities to maximize your profit. Well, again, for the purposes of the video, I'm not doing that. So we're going to go ahead and start opening up some of these other factories within our research, just so we can see, what's going on in these various different factories. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the biotech. And let's see, we've already done these. Fashion, we'll unlock that one as well. We'll unlock food. So, and jewelry, we have just enough. And yes, we know it's a difficult chain, no doubt. So that will open up some other avenues for us in future videos to do some different things and get some different exposure. Now, with that out of the way for the research, let's go ahead and take a look at where we want to go from here and vehicles. Now, if you remember from a previous video, we were making family cars and mini compact cars, which basically have the same production tree. And then we got in and made some vans as well. Well, today I want to look at the large family car. If you look down through the list here, you see a lot of very familiar products that we already have: plastics, rubber, inorganic chemicals, and so on. But there's a couple of things that stick out that we don't already have. One is animal textures. Another is chromium. And let's take a look. Everything else I believe we have. So let's go ahead and take care of that so we can add the large family car to our list of products that we offer. Okay, so first up, chromium. And I've already taken a look on the map, and we've got, again, we own several sectors at this point in time without competition around to worry about. And if I come over here, chromium, we have 924. That seems like quite a bit. You can see it's more than some of the areas around. So let's go ahead and place a mine here. Come into our building store. And let's see, where's our mine? There it is. And let's go ahead and spin this around. Okay. And so we need chromium. Okay. While that's up and working, what else did we need that we weren't already making? And that's animal textiles. And if you'll look for that, we already have chemical mixture that we're making from our previous products. But now we need silk and leather, and that's 2 animal ranches. All right, and for this purposes, let's go ahead and let's just expand out. I mean, we've already gotten several areas, and here is a good area that's very fertile. So let's go ahead and purchase this. Okay, so now we've got a new sector, a pretty small sector, admittedly, but that's okay. Again, we've got room to grow as big as we need to, so it's not really an issue. All right, we're going to start things out with a warehouse because I am terrible at warehousing these things. So I'm going to go ahead and every new product we make in our video today, we are going to go ahead and put it in this new warehouse. Okay, with that in mind, and by the way, in case you're wondering, the placement of these warehouses does not seem to matter in this game. You might think that you'd want to put the warehouse very close to the items that are going to be going to and from it. But in this game, that type of logistics doesn't seem to be an issue, so we're not going to worry about it. But normally, you would definitely want to take that and make sure you want to place your buildings in close proximity to one another for efficiency purposes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and max out our workforce in our mine, production costs. We'll go ahead and do that while we're here. All right, so we have a total of 80 workers we can get access to. we want to mine chromium. And our quality, let's see what it's going to be. 22 cents is our cost here. So it doesn't take a lot of money to do these. Oh, so we can make over 900 here. So about 924 per day. Okay. And now where do we want to send this? Well, we're going to send this into our new one, which is for right now called warehouse. We're going to quickly change that though. All right, so animal cruelty, I think they're trying to send us a message here, has shut down production in one of our particular areas. Fortunately, I don't think that's going to be an issue. So we're going to be just fine. So right now, what has been halted is the genetic cell catalyst. And in all likelihood, we have way more of those than we need anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and change the name to 5 in our warehouses because it is number 5. Okay, so now we can see we have that set up, and sure enough, here comes the chromium. I'm going to lower this to 5%, so if we are indeed overproducing wildly in how much of this we need, it won't be such a huge issue. And maybe my glaring lack of warehousing skill won't be so apparent. All right, next up, if we come back in, we're taking care of our chromium. Now, if we work our way down the list, animal textiles. We need a couple of animal ranches making silk and leather. So let's go ahead and come back over to our new area and find the animal ranch. Here it is. And animal ranch, let's see. Let's go ahead and line these up like this. Oop, not the farm, but the animal ranch. And we're going to put this right in here. Wow, that is terrible placement. Okay, so we got these two working, and we're going to have them. Going to hurry up our building just a little bit here. All right, so what do we need here? First of all, we're going to max out our workers and then upgrade our cost. Okay, and with that out of the way, genetic materials, not sure if we'll need that or not, but we'll find out. So silk, we need silk in one, and we need leather in the other. We'll start with silk. Okay, let's max out our quality, and finally, max out our quantity. Okay, so we can make 769 per day. That's good. And if you remember, for animal ranches, you don't have any raw materials that you need to bring in, so we're good to go there. Let's add in progress report. We're keeping an eye on constantly, so we're not going to take too much worry about that. We're going to send this product to warehouse number 5. All right, so production is underway, so we're good to go there. Okay, let's come into our second animal ranch, upgrade our workers, upgrade the production cost. We've got access to 25 workers on this particular animal ranch, and we're going to make leather. Okay, again, you don't see a huge cost involved in leather production. And let's go ahead and max this out. Oops, looks like we can make over 900. And we can make 909, okay? Let's go ahead and set up our transportation route to warehouse number 5. Okay, that will get, it looks like we're paused from that progress report. Let's go ahead and get this going. And come into our warehouse. And once again, because I almost forgot, we're going to lower this to 5%. Now, you might be wondering, okay, wouldn't you just leave that at 10% and just have fewer materials going into each warehouse? Excellent point. And yes, normally I would do that. But I have shown a remarkable lack of restraint for warehousing. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that, at least until I forget to do it anyway. All right, so right now you can see we have quantities of each of these coming in. So our production seems to be good. And now we've got a worker strike. And okay, so we're not going to worry about that. We're running low on time as it is. So let's go ahead and get back to the task at hand. So now we've got our 2 ranches going, 2 animal ranches, along with chemical mixture. We're ready to make some animal textiles in our textile factory. Okay, so now we need to find the textile factory in here. And there it is. And it's fairly small. So we're going to go ahead and drop one of those right in there. And while that's building, it looks like we are basically ready to make our large family car. So with that in mind, I am going to set up our, let's see, where is it at? One of the downsides of having so many of these things is that they take up a huge amount of area. Okay, so this is a huge factory. We're going to put it right over here on the edge of our map and put it right there. Okay, so now we've got our textile factory up and going. Let's upgrade our workers to go from 10 to 40, upgrade our production cost as well. And okay, so what are we going to be making here? We're going to be making animal textiles, and we see our raw materials that we're already aware of. Okay, we'll max out our quality here, and you see $3.76, so not terribly expensive, but whether or not it's expensive is relative to how much we can sell these for in our final product along the way. So whether it's expensive or not is basically a relative thing that we're not sure about just yet. Okay, so resources, we're going to get silk from warehouse 5. We are also going to get our leather from warehouse 5. And we need to get, I believe from number 3, we're going to get our chemical mixture. And I believe that's all of those. So we're going to go ahead and put our final product in warehouse 5 as well. With that out of the way, let's take a look here. And we see that our production can go on because we have plenty of everything that we need. A quick look shows that we've already got production underway. If we come into here, we can see that we've already got animal textiles coming in. So everything is as it should be. That opens us up to make another vehicle. So which vehicle are we going to make here? Well, we're going to make the large family car, but not until I'll tell you what, I'm going to hold off on that just for a moment because I want to see how dramatic that increase, or excuse me, decrease is. So let's go ahead and take care of this first. So we want to make the large family car, and it's going to take a lot of items. So hopefully I can remember where all of these are located. Okay, production cost, $1,236. Now let's go ahead and purchase the upgrade. We go from $1,236 to $1,188. So not a huge decrease. Again, this is why I wanted to wait and take care of some of these cost decreases later on in the Let's Play series for just this reason. It's not giving me the best bang for the buck that you might be hoping for. Okay, let's see how many of these we can make. And nope, we're not interested in fashion factories just yet. Maybe later. Okay, so we can make about 6 of these. So looks like they're going to really restrict us on the number of vehicles we can make in any of these factories. Again, vehicles are pretty highly profitable, so it makes sense that they don't want you to get, huge profit numbers out of hand. I mean, we're at, between 350 and 400,000 generally per day right now, which is very low of a company that's the size of what we've been able to create so far in the game. So I understand what they're trying to do there, and I have no particular problem with it. All right, so we're going to send our final product over here to warehouse number 5, and here we go. Let's start this process of trying to get all of our raw materials into the correct area, or from the correct area. Okay, so let's see. We need plastic. Let's go ahead and get our chromium first. We're going to need chromium, and we also know that we're going to need our animal textiles, and that takes care of what we need from warehouse number 5. Now we'll come back to the top of the list, and from our first warehouse, we're going to need plastics. And let's see. Next, we're going to need rubber, which I believe is at number 3. There it is. If we work our way down the line, we'll go back to warehouse number 1, I believe, for chemicals. Then we need steel alloy, which I believe is actually in 4. Is that right? Steel alloy. There it is. And next we need car glass, which I believe is also in number 4. Yes, it is. And working our way down, synthetic textiles. Do we need those? Actually, not sure if we do or not. Let's take a look. Synthetic. We need plant textiles. Okay. So back to our transportation route, we need plant textiles, which I believe is also in number 4. And there we go. We need wires and cables, which I believe is also in number 4. Okay, and it's showing synthetic textiles. I don't believe we actually need those. Okay, now we look for electronic components, which I believe are in 3. Is that correct? Yes, indeed. Okay, and what else do we need? Because let's see, we need embedded systems and inorganic chemicals. Okay, inorganic chemicals, I believe, is in warehouse 3. There we go. And while we were in there, I also noticed that embedded systems was in there. Okay. So now I believe we have gotten everything. Yes, it looks like we do. A quick glance of quantities, and it looks like we're good to go on everything. So now we are producing large family cars. And let's see. Okay, production is going. We've got a few there. Let's see. It's checking our warehouse. Now, here we're not going to have to really worry about how many are there because we're going to be selling these, and we're going to price these to where we sell them basically as fast as we make them. So with that in mind, now we know our next step is to come over to one of the 3 cities that are located on this map, and we need to make a shop to sell these. Okay, with that in mind, we'll come to warehouse 5 and choose our large family car, and you can see there is a pretty hefty markup for what we're going to be selling these for. And let's go ahead and go to our other 2 cities, and let's upgrade here from 4x4 to 4x5 space for shops. And again, oh goodness, there are catastrophes everywhere in this game. So food sanitation problem is on the farm. Again, we're not going to spend too much time on that because there's really nothing I can do about it. It halts production for a certain amount of time, but then we'll get back to business. Okay, expand our shop, choose our product. As I've mentioned in previous videos, if you are just getting started out, I don't recommend actually setting up shop in all of the cities that are on your particular map, simply because for the most part, you won't have enough supply to meet all of the demand anyway. So it's really not all that advantageous for you. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We're making about $91,000 per day from these. Okay, so not bad at all. Okay, with that in mind, let's come back in. And so we're done with the large family car. Now, we can't move on to the executive car because we got some other things that we need to make. We need to get into titanium and some carbon reinforced glass and mineral texture. So we got, or textiles rather. So we got some things we need to work on there. But if I come in to the family car section and we take a look in here, and we'll notice that we're making everything we need to do to produce the minivan. So let's go ahead and make minivans. We're going to stick with our existing area here, and we're going to come into the building shop. And once again, if I can find it, oh, there it was, vehicle, and spin this around to make this look as presentable as we can. And now we're going to be making vehicles here as well. Okay, we'll see the production go up, and our profit should go up as well. Right now it's not, so that tells me that we've got something that's happening, probably a production chain snag as a result of my warehousing skills, most likely. But we won't worry too much about that for the time being. Let's go ahead and speed up our time and get our final vehicle factory up and running. All right, here we go. And let's upgrade our workforce. Let's go ahead and upgrade our production cost. And family cars, I don't think we're going to have to worry about that, but we'll find out shortly. Okay, what we want to make is the minivan. Okay, we're missing the family cars upgrade, so we do need the upgrade. Okay, no problem. We'll take care of that. And let's come back into production, choose our minivan. And again, a whole host of products that we'll need. We'll set our quality to maximum, and I'm guessing 6 or 7. Okay, we can make 5 of these per day, so not a huge amount for sure, but that's okay. We'll make it through it. All right, so first product I believe we need is aluminum, actually. Okay, so we've got our aluminum there. We also need chromium, which is here. And we also need our animal textiles. Okay, so far so good. And now we start into the other items, which we'll see how many of these we need. If I can remember from our previous setup, plastics come from the first warehouse, then rubber comes from the third warehouse. There it is. And what's next? We need chemicals, which I believe are from the first warehouse. Yep, there they are. And we need steel alloy, which is in number 4. We need, let's see, what else do we need? Oh, we need the, okay, genetic, okay. I'm not going to worry about that. Again, all these side projects that they're trying to fill up our to-do list with, I am trying to ignore because, quite frankly, it is easy for me to get sidetracked. Let's see, wires and cables. Okay, and I've already gotten sidetracked to the point where, let's see, what do we need? We need plant textiles and electronic components. Okay, let's come back down to our transportation routes. Plant textiles are in number 4, I believe. Plant textiles. And electronic components are in 3, I want to say. There they are. Okay, and I know we need to add one final one for the final product. All right, let's see if we got everything taken care of. All right, looks like we did. Now, chemicals, looks like we are running very low on that. Wow. And that's why I generally like to take a quick look through the quantities here. Looks like chemicals, we've used that in several products. So it's not surprising that we would eventually reach this point where we're nearly out of them. So that's something we'll want to keep in mind for future reference. I'm going to make a quick note of that we'll need to look into that. All right, with production underway, let's go ahead and slow time a little bit. Come into our area here and see that we have some minivans already pouring in, which means that it's time for us to come over to the city and open up a shop. Okay, we're going to be selling minivans, and again, a nice profit percentage there. And let's come to our other 2 cities and open up a minivan shop there as well. Okay, so we're off and running. So we sold, and again, keep in mind, this very first allotment that you sell will be huge because it's selling everything that's in your warehouse currently. It sends all of those over to the shop. You sell those off pretty quick, and then it comes down to more of how many are you going to make on a daily basis. All right, with that in mind, you can see our vehicle factor doesn't have enough, and we already know why that is. That's going to be our chemicals that it doesn't have enough to make, but we'll take care of that in a future video. I really appreciate you guys coming along for the ride with me as we continue our Let's Play of Industry Manager Future Technologies.